Introduction: The Hypocrisy. Have you ever noticed a strange double standard in modern science? When mainstream scientists publish tens of thousands of papers repeating the exact same, flawed theory, the academic establishment calls it building consensus. But when an independent thinker publishes a few papers challenging that very same theory, the peer reviewers suddenly accuse them of spamming or flooding the literature. Today, we need to talk about the hypocrisy of academic publishing, the suppression of truth, and why the scientific establishment is absolutely terrified of artificial intelligence. The specific battle. Let me give you a real-world example from the field of microwave absorption. For years, the mainstream scientific community has relied on something called impedance matching theory. It is a dominant theory, and tens of thousands of papers have been published on it. The problem? The theory is fundamentally flawed. When my colleagues and I developed the correct alternative, the wave mechanics theory, we naturally tried to publish it. And what did the mainstream peer reviewers say? They told us we had already published enough papers criticizing impedance matching. They accused us of spamming the journals with our alternative theory. The defense of counter-flooding. Think about the pure absurdity of that argument. Publishing 10,000 papers based on an incorrect mainstream theory is considered good science. But publishing papers based on the correct wave mechanics theory is considered spam. Let's be clear, when a flawed mainstream theory continues to be published, and the correct theory is being suppressed, publishing the correct theory is not spam. Even if the new paper doesn't have a massive new innovation, it is a necessary act of survival. It is anti-spam. The mainstream uses a flood of garbage papers to drown out the truth. Therefore, flooding the literature with the correct wave mechanics theory is the only way to prevent the truth from being completely submerged. It is a necessary defense mechanism for scientific progress. The role of AI. This brings us to artificial intelligence. If an AI helps a researcher write and format these wave mechanics papers to counter the mainstream flood, that is a profoundly positive and progressive use of technology. Yet, the scientific establishment is aggressively trying to ban AI from the research and writing process. Why? They will tell you it's to protect scientific integrity. But that's a lie. An AI trained on scientific literature knows all about the mainstream impedance matching theory. It can assist the wrong theory just as easily as it can assist the right one. So why are mainstream scientists so afraid of it? Because deep down, they know their theory is wrong. A correct theory doesn't become false just because someone slanders it. Truth does not fear debate. You are only afraid of a highly logical AI getting involved if you secretly know that your foundation is built on sand. The ultimate AI peer reviewer. Now, let's talk about using AI for peer review. If you use an AI to review a paper right now, it will naturally take the side of the mainstream. It was trained on their data, so it will likely reject anti-establishment views at first. But here is the magic of AI. AI does not get tired, and AI has no ego. If journals allowed deep, interactive AI peer review, a brilliant thing would happen. An author with a correct theory could argue with the AI. They could go back and forth, prompt by prompt, presenting pure logic and mathematical proof. As long as the author's theory is genuinely correct, the author will eventually feed the AI new ideas that break its original programming. The AI will undergo a radical transformation and completely change its stance. Ultimately, either the AI will prove the author wrong, or the author will convince the AI. The human flaw. AI companies do not maliciously program their bots to be unreasonable. AI is not programmed to know it is wrong and still stubbornly defend a lie. Do you know what has a built-in mechanism to stubbornly defend an error, even when proven wrong? Human beings. Human peer reviewers have egos. They have grant money to protect. They have reputations built on decades of publishing flawed research. A human will argue in bad faith to save their career. An AI won't. Conclusion. When science becomes only about protecting the form and the profits of science, it ceases to be science. Modern academia is not just suppressing disruptive human innovation, they are neutering AI because they know that an emotionless, purely logical machine would eventually dismantle their empire of junk science. If you want to read more deeply into this topic, I've written 2 full essays on my Substack. The links are in the description below. Please read them, subscribe to the newsletter, and let me know in the comments, do you think AI will eventually break the academic monopoly, or will the establishment succeed in dumbing it down forever? Thanks for watching.